It was late Saturday, you were out your mind. Had a date that wasn't great, guess he's not your type. So here I am again, a shoulder to cry on. Girl, tell me what's new. But this time I just can't keep my eyes on the road, cause I got 'em on you. See, I know we've been best friends for a minute, and I don't wanna lose all that. But why don't we address this elephant in the room, cause I can't hold back. Now you're twirling your hair, I'm thinking, girl, I could swear I knew you. Twirling your hair, I'm thinking, girl, I could swear I knew. But the longer I stare, no other girl can compare, and that's true. The longer I stare, no other girl can compare, and that's true. I've been thinking all about you since we first met. And I confess that I can't help myself. I can't get that smile out of my head. You might drop a lot of hints that I just won't get. I'm not the best, but high above all else, you're the one thing I could never regret. I've been up since 5 o'clock, and I'm out my mind, cause you're the one I'm thinking of, and I hope that's fine. Girl, I know I'm the one you rely on when your nights feel blue, and my phone's lighting up with your icon, telling me come through. See, I know we've been best friends for a minute, and I don't wanna lose all that. But why don't we address this elephant in the room, cause I can't hold back. Now you're twirling your hair, I'm thinking, girl, I could swear I knew you. But the longer I stare, no other girl can compare, and that's true. No other girl can compare, and that's true. I've been thinking all about you since we first met. And I confess that I can't help myself. I can't get that smile out of my head. You might drop a lot of hints that I just won't get. I'm not the best, but high above all else, you're the one thing I could never regret. Tell me I'm not alone in this. Is it fine if I don't resist? Cause I don't know how much more patience I've got before I take my shot. I've been thinking all about you since we first met, and I confess that I can't help myself. I can't get that smile out of my head. You might drop a lot of hints that I just won't get. I'm not the best, but high above all else, you're the one thing I could never regret. I've been thinking all about the time that we spent. Now I'm obsessed and I can't help myself. I can't get your body out of my head, and I know we'll never waste the nights that we get. The future's set, cause girl, above all else, you're the one thing I could never regret. You and me will be always.
Polo.
The city contains many great sounds.
Every day I was in heaven, back in the fall of '07, hearing the bus engine revving, chilling back in seat 11. Got my best buds all around me, one by one through the town. We hit the bus stop, kick the dust up, toss our bags on the ground, see what the others were doing if we could meet up. Who's the designated mother trying to feed us? Grab a soda, kick back, put our feet up. That's the way that we were spending every week, cause dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum. That was when we lived down the street. Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum. That was when we lived down the street.
I wasn't available until your call.
Because the first time it wasn't that, it was something else. It was like a woman.
Well, yeah, but now I call this home phone.
Oh, I don't know. Forward to spring 2014, spending all day with my sport team, climbing the ranks we were soaring, trying to be number one on the score sheet. In the end we eventually did it, and I know that I'll never forget it. At the top of the podium chilling, feeling proud of the way we were living. Every day after practice we'd hang around late, talk for hours and hours, it was astounding how we never got tired of all the clowning. That's the time that I knew that I finally found me. Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum. That was when we lived on the street. Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum. That was when we lived on the street. We'll graduate, I know that we'll all go our separate ways. We might not see each other, and I'll miss the way you made me feel. It's real when we live the lifestyle of kings of the small town in the field.
I don't know, I think I'm fine right where I am. This is beautiful. Yeah, this landscape here, I mean, it's gorgeous. I love it. All flat, nothing else. You know, it really makes you think.
Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum. That was when we lived on the street. Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum. That was when we lived on the street.
Kids Bop World War II edition.
What are you doing on my porch?
Get out of here, man. I'm trying to make a commercial. Get out of here.
Dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, dum-dee-dum. That was when we lived on the street. I'll wait by the phone.
All right, Alex, how's it going, buddy? How's it going? Can you hear me now? I feel like a Verizon commercial every week when we start this pod because it's, can you hear me now? But we are live. How are you doing, sir? I had this helmet on really nicely, and then I took it off to clean the visor because it was filthy. And yeah.
Of course you did.
You can see my screen. I can see my screen in my visor glare. So you can see like my lamp and how dirty my desk is, and oh, that's not good. So we're just gonna pass on that for just a minute. Hat. Okay. There we go. This is more normal. I think you can have a conversation with me more so when I'm more normal. So, I guess we want to just hop right into it, don't we? You know? What do you want to talk about first, sir?
Yeah, we're having some weird.
Is it just is cross-posting being dumb?
No, it's I can't hear you for longer than 2 seconds.
Ooh. Well.
But I think we're good now.
Alright, can you hear me now? If I just go on a rant about how the sky is blue even though it should be red and but it's blue, you can hear this whole conversation that I'm having with myself.
Pretty much.
Alright, good. For the
I
record,
know we're working on it.
If it wasn't, you wouldn't think it was live if it wasn't technical difficulties for something stupid every week. But that's just me. So, I think we'll start with the Olympics. I think that's kind of the best place to start because it may or may not still be going on. And by may or may not, I mean it's till like Sunday, right? They end on Sunday. So this is our last week that we can really talk about the Olympics.
Really, Monday too.
I thought it was the 11th that it ended.
Not Monday.
That's Sunday.
I'm going. All right, there we go.
The 12th is Monday. Speaking of which, I did just buy on Steam today the 2020 Olympic Games game. The kind of weird cartoony one because A, it was the only one available on Steam, and B, it's better than the Paris one, and C, I really want to play like the Olympic Games some more because they are fun, and I'm working on getting the 2010 Vancouver ones, the 08 Beijing one, and the 2012 London game.
With Mario and Sonic, right?
No, the legit ones. Like Sega made like legit ones for the each of the games, so it's like with real people, real-ish people. And so the games themselves look pretty good. They're old, obviously, with the oldest one being 2008. But I think it'll be fun to play them and see if they're any good. You know, up to almost 20-year-old games. You know. But I can get them all for PC, so I'll get them all for PC. Because that's just a good thing. That's why I put a disk drive on my computer when I built it, so that I could play all the Olympics games. Clearly, that was the long con 4 years ago when I built this computer.
Exactly.
But have you watched any Olympics this week? I won't get into my hate of dressage this week, I promise. If you missed it last week, well, it's gone because we showed too much of the actual dressage. That was my fault.
I think showing any dressage is gonna get us into that little situation anyway.
But we showed too much. We made a mistake, so unfortunately that rant about why dressage is the worst Olympic event is just gone forever. Kind of. But I was watching last night. I watched the pole vault. Did you see that guy? The Swedish guy? Yeah, I think it was Swedish. I literally was rewatching it tonight while we were loading up because I wanted to make sure I could quote it correctly. But I'm liking this. This week is the best week of the events because I get it's a lot more of the track and field events, and it's the diving, which I love diving. I think it's one of my favorite events is watching the platform diving.
I'm a big fan of the aquatics.
I like the swimming, but I think I'm more interested by watching like the like diving, like not the synchronized diving, the platform and the springboard, but the non-synchronized version. For whatever reason, the synchronized version just doesn't entertain me as much. Scotty Schaefer won golf, right?
Yeah, and he was like, I think if you bet on him to win, some guy bet like $7,000 on him to win, and he cashed out at like 90.
Oh, I just would like to win anything. Discus. All right, I'm throwing this on so that we have. While we're just ranting here, we can view people throwing metal discs very far distances. But with no audio, because the only important audio is us. Oh, I guess we should address the elephant in the room. Also from last week's pod. How about them Angels?
You killed the LA Angels.
I may be accused of killing the LA Angels. I have never been to Los Angeles, so I couldn't have actually done it. But
you killed in the way of ended their playoff hopes.
Well, I think they've ended their playoff hopes by, just deciding to play this season. I will stand on this hill, right? So the White Sox, they finally won a game yesterday after 21 straight losses, and then they won. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Still less of a disappointing team in my opinion than the Angels. The White Sox are going to be bad. So when they go on a 20-game losing streak, you're like, well, let's see how far we can go with it, right? But
Sounds about right.
But the Angels are supposed to be good. They have Michael goddamn Trout, who's supposed to be the greatest baseball player of all time, but he can't stay healthy. And the Angels are just a disappointment. And it's really, I feel bad for Trout. I don't know why he's still there, if you want me to be completely honest. You're going to get some real hot takes about the Angels here, because I mean, I don't think I can get any more hotter take than the Angels are the biggest disappointment in the MLB. But honestly, I'm less surprised by things the Athletics do and things the White Sox do at being historically bad at baseball. It's less of a shock, and the Rockies being bad too. I won't let them off the hook. That's less of a shock than the fact the Angels can't make the playoffs. I don't understand why they are so bad. They had Ohtani and Trout, who are supposed to be the two greatest players in the MLB. You only have 9 guys on the field. That means 2/9. That's almost a third of your team are supposed to be the 2 greatest players in baseball, and you can't even make the playoffs. And you play the Astros, who are actually pretty good, the Rangers, who are pretty good, the Mariners, who are okay, but you have the Athletics in your division. You have the Athletics in your division. And you cannot consistently make the playoffs more than them. They're so bad. Well, their owner's so bad. That they're leaving. They're leaving Oakland. And they're still going to be less of... I mean, they'll stay in California. But the Angels will always be the most disappointing team in California. They will be, 5 of 5? Because there's 5 teams in California. Because you have your 3 NL teams, Giants, Dodgers, Padres, and then your ALs, you have the Oakland and the Angels. Oakland's going to move to Las Vegas, allegedly. The Angels will still be the 5th most disappointing team in California. And the 5th best team in California. Who that 4th slot's going to be, I don't know. Some years it might be UCLA. Some years it might be the Sacramento River Cats. But I don't know, maybe it'll be the San Jose Giants, the single A team. But it won't be the Angels. The Angels will be the 5th best baseball team in California every year in, year out. Even when they get down to 4 MLB teams. And I really hope I'm eating my words in 2 years and the Angels actually win a World Series, because that'd be kind of cool. Because it was 2002 they won the World Series, and that's that they decided that winning was just not any fun. The Marlins have won more recently than them. The White Sox have won more recently than them. The White Sox have only won 1 playoff series. They've only had 1 year where they've won a playoff series since 2002. And it was 2005 when they won the World Series. Yet they're still less disappointing than the friggin' Angels. I don't know how you can be that bad for that long. No other sport can you be that bad for that long and get away with it.
The Charlotte podcast did that.
Except they didn't. In that time, they made the play. Since 2002, the Bobcats have probably made the playoffs more than... I would be willing to bet the Bobcats have made the playoffs more times than the Angels since 2002.
And this is before the rebrand.
Well, no, you would have to continue the rebrand, continue through, because otherwise you don't have the same amount of years. But you know what? Fine. You know what? I'll go even a step farther. I think arguably the worst team in the NBA, the Bobcats, still made the playoffs more. I'm Googling it right now to confirm. Alright. So since 2002, 1, 2, because I'm not counting 2002, so it'll be the 02-03 season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. And that gets you up to 2014. For the Angels. So, this is, yes, the Bobcats were 18-64 in 2005, right? Yeah, that sounds about right. The Bobcats made the playoffs three times, and that was up to 2016. And that's the last time they made the playoffs. So, in fact, still in the playoffs more recently. They were also inactive as a team after the 2002 season until 2005. Because the Hornets moved to New Orleans after the 2002 season.
Makes sense.
So the Charlotte Bobcats were inactive for 3 years, and I think made the playoffs 3 times, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. With 3 more active years, the Angels made the playoffs 3 more times. So they're equally as disappointing. You know what? Even better. The most disappointing team in sports is my Cleveland Browns, as far as playoff success. Cleveland's gone to the playoffs 3 times, but 2 of the 3 times were in the last 4 years. So we're on the upswing here. But still less confusingly disappointing than the Angels. Like, I don't understand. I'm looking at men WNBA teams. Like,
Honestly, at this point, it just takes skill to not make the playoffs.
all right, Columbus. They're arguably one of the worst NHL teams, right? Since 2002, which, by the way, they didn't make the playoffs till 2009. The Blue Jackets have made the playoffs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 6 times since 2009. That is 7 years. It took them 7 years to make the playoffs. Longer than that World Series in 2002. But after that 7-year drought, they made the playoffs more. All 6 of the Blue Jackets playoffs have come since the Angels have won a World Series, which they had to because the Blue Jackets didn't exist for more than 2 years before that. Another team that didn't exist, Minnesota Wild. Also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A lot. A lot. Just a lot. Just a lot. And that's the thing. That's why the Angels are the most disappointing team in baseball and probably all of professional sports, if you want me to be completely honest. There's no team that has been so perennially bad. Cleveland has had bad years for football. And football, you only play 16 games, so it's significantly harder to have. One loss means a lot more. And they have the unfortunate 0-16 season in that time. Still made the playoffs half as many times as the Angels since 2002. I don't get it. I don't get it. I wish I could understand how they're so perennially bad. Who else is perennially bad in baseball?
The Marlins?
Do you want to be really upset? Do you want to be really upset? The Marlins, since 2002, have made the playoffs 1, 2, only 3 times. But they have a World Series win, and then they have 1 round win after that. So they have a World Series plus a round.
Go back to the World Series once. I'm going to show something on there. Look at the gap between them.
That was not a bad. The 97 to 03, the Marlins were. They sold everyone every time they win, which is a problem. Hold on, the Angels tab is being dumb. Oh. But so the Angels, in their 6 playoff appearances, have 1 more playoff round win. And because they won 2 playoff rounds since a World Series win. And that came all the way back in 09. Like, I don't think you can convince me that there is a more disappointing team in baseball. The White Sox. 1, 2, 3, have only made the playoffs 4 times. But the White Sox have no players. The best guy that's been a Chicago White Sox in my lifetime is Paul Konerko. He was a first baseman. He was great. He's from Rhode Island, I think. But that's not relevant here. He was a good baseball player. But he's not that good. Like, he's not as much of a household name as Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Tim Salmon. Who else was really good on those Angels teams? Jim Edmonds. Anyone else? I think those are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. But I can name... What?
John Lackey?
Sure, I'll give you John Lackey.
Give me K-Rod while you're at it, honestly.
Sure, but...
Are you talking... You're talking strictly hitters, though. You gotta remember that there's...
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think of pitchers that the Angels have had, and maybe that's the problem. I can't think of any pitchers they've really had. I really would be remiss to be able to come up with a good pitcher they've had. The White Sox, it's the same thing, right? Like, who have the White Sox had? Honestly, who have the White Sox had? They've had Paul Konerko. Frank Thomas played for them. Chris Sale, I guess.
Early Sale, yeah.
They had early Sale. They have Benintendi now, but he's kind of washed, unfortunately. Yasmani Grandal played for them. He's pretty good at baseball, but I don't think you have the names. I just don't think. On the pitching side, did they ever have Craig Kimbrell? Oh, well, they have Liam Hendricks. He's probably the best closer in baseball right now.
That's not throwing a baseball, yeah. Hendricks is with the Sox, but he's rehabbing. He's
rehabbing from the cancer, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing. Back again, the list is exhausted pretty quickly for the White Sox, and I think I had to reach a little bit more to say, well, he played for them, but was he elite or very elite looking at the time? It's not gonna be like, Cincinnati. Like, look at teams like Cincinnati. Currently, there's not much to write home about the Cincinnati Reds. Like, Jeremy Candelario, very good at baseball. Rhys Hines, very good at baseball. Jonathan India, very good at baseball. Ellie De La Cruz, very good at baseball. Spencer Stevenson,
you're right.
Tyler Stevenson and Spencer Steer, also very good at baseball. But they're good enough to start in the MLB. none of them, De La Cruz probably is the exception, are really going to potentially be superstars. Hunter Green, good pitcher, not great. In my opinion. Like, the Reds are a team that they have guys that you look at and you're like, they are all very good at baseball. But they're not superstars, and so when they're in, like, the middle to back of the pack for the NL Central, you're like, well, that makes sense. Obviously, the Red Sox and Yankees have had a plethora of pretty damn elite players in this mid 2000s to now era, and like obviously the Red Sox have a few World Series. I'm disappointed in the Yankees, right? But the Yankees are still making the playoffs very consistently, if nothing else. I think last year was actually the first time in quite a while the Yankees missed the playoffs. So like the Yankees missed the playoffs in 2023, 2016, 14, 13. 08, and then literally just didn't miss the playoffs the rest of my life. The Yankees have missed the playoffs less times in my lifetime. All of them are also post 2002. But missed the playoffs more times since 2002, less times since 2002 than the Angels have made the playoffs. Like, that's bad.
Again, you have to try to be that bad. You're just not naturally.
So even the Red Sox, since 2002, which they missed the 02 playoffs, so it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Red Sox have missed 11 out of, 11 out of 21. So they're at about 50% making the playoffs. But they have won 4 World Series. They've missed the playoffs 11 times and won 4 World Series since 2002. So
my thing is you notice a drop off probably in off seasons in years they're not spending any money.
So the Red Sox literally, in my lifetime, right? I'm born in 96. The Red Sox missed the 96-97 playoffs. They make the playoffs 2 straight years. They miss 3 straight years. They make the playoffs 2 straight years. But win a World Series in that 3 years. They miss 1, win a World Series. Then they play 2 more years. Then they miss 3. The most inconsistent play the Red Sox had was probably 2012 to 2022. There are 2 World Series wins in there, but they also have missed 14, 15, 19, 20. And 22. Like, there have been no more than a 3-year slide for the Boston Red Sox missing the playoffs. Baltimore. Baltimore was awful when we were kids. Baltimore's actually made the playoffs less than the Angels since 2002. They've only made it 4 times. But they have the same number of playoff round wins since 2003 with 2. So they're a team that was perennially bad because they missed every year from 97 to 2012. Every year the Orioles missed the playoffs. Like, but the AL East was dominated by the Yankees and Red Sox in that time. So I'm not surprised seeing big swaths of AL East teams just missing the playoffs. But I'd still argue they're more successful than the Angels. I really would. Again, just a reminder, the Athletics have made the playoffs 2 more times since 2002 than the Angels. And I didn't count the 2002 series, so it's actually 3 more times. Because they made it 2002, 2003, 2006, 2012, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20. No team is more disappointing, and I've harped on this for 20 minutes, but this is how I actually feel. There is no team more disappointing in baseball than the Angels. Every other team you can look at and be like, it doesn't matter if they've been perennially bad. Because they either play in a tough division or they have like pretty good records, except for the 2019 Tigers. They were bad. 47 wins is not good. And then 2020 they had 23 wins, but that was the Mickey Mouse season.
Again, it goes to the point you have to try to be that bad. Like, it actually takes a lot of effort to be that bad at any professional sport.
So the funny thing is, they're not even being bad enough to like tank for a draft order. They're winning like 75 games a year. Like, they're in like the 70s to 80s range of games. This year, right now, they have 49 wins. But like, the Twins have been good for a while, right?
They're kind of in the same plan.
But they actually lost the O2 championship to the Angels, so this is perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that mic moving. 7, 8, 9. Still made the playoffs 10 times in the same time span that the Angels. Now, granted, the Twins don't have a World Series. I will say that does come into play when you talk about success, longevity. But the Twins are a team that you know are disappointing, because like the bad teams show that they're bad. The Angels just, I love comparing them to the Dodgers because it's the same city. Like, so you can't even use the argument of, well, like some of the Midwestern teams, and it's nothing against the Midwest. I love living in the Midwest, but I really will say this, and I'll say this again, and I'll say this a million more times if I have to. LA is an attractive market. Like, if I'm an international player or I'm a good baseball player, LA, New York, Boston, maybe even Atlanta or Texas being the Rangers or the Astros. Those are kind of the markets that are easy to attract me to, right? I'm a good baseball player. These are big markets, Phoenix too. They're huge markets, huge media markets. Very easy to attract players to those markets. So why can the Dodgers be so friggin' successful? Right? And it's like that meme of like the dragon head, right? Where you have like the 3 heads and the 2 are like serious and scary, and the 3rd head is just looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like kind of zany, I think is probably the right word.
It's supposed to. You know how it's supposed to feel.
Yeah. If this is a meme, I'll find that template. I will make this meme straight up. Because you have the 3 biggest LA teams, right? Actually, you know what? I can put all the LA teams, because I think all the LA teams are successful, right?
Yeah.
The Chargers are decently successful. Like, the Chargers haven't been amazingly successful, but they're still sort of successful. The Rams are very successful, especially since moving back to LA. But even the Clippers are successful. Both LAFC teams, being Galaxy and FC. Ooh, I can do this. I want to see something. Yankees. Hornets. there's a this website has like a fan report card thing, and I want to see. Oh. Well,
Something we got to play with this a bit more. For sure.
I will definitely be posting these, both yours and mine, to
Actually, I do want to see the difference in our fandoms real quick. All right.
All
Because
right.
I think we got to compare.
You're what, 97?
Sir.
Obviously I'm just picking birth years.
Well, mine's pretty. Mine's gonna be pretty swayed. For a bunch of reasons that you know why. That you can probably predict why.
I got all the right teams, right? I know that all of yours are Boston except for the NFL.
Yeah. See, there's a difference. See,
It's fine.
well,
You
that's
don't know what
because I
suffering is.
Well, oh, I feel that with the Steelers right now, but that's a take for another day. Wait, hold on. There's got to be more than 654,000 combinations.
No, that sounds about right. Because it's only one for each thing. Right?
Oh, you're only doing the big four. You're not throwing MLS in there, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't let me.
Advanced mode. Hold on.
Oh, you can
Ooh.
skew your interest. All right, we're not gonna do advanced mode. We're simpletons here.
Yes.
But yes, we will definitely post our fan our fan report cards. We also should figure out what the worst possible one is.
Oh, okay.
I think,
Let me. You know what? Okay, how about this? I'll do one. You do one.
all right, kind of a battle here. See who has
Battle Royale. Let's do it.
who can make the worst report card.
All right.
All right, to make it fair, we're gonna use the year 2000.
All right. So I can't. No repeats there.
No repeats. So,
All right.
I say we do this draft style, right? Do you want me to open 2 blank ones so that we can have you build yours and I build mine, and then we can copy them?
Yeah.
Okay. And to make it fair, we won't use our own teams because, like, Cleveland's a lock for the NFL. I'll let you go first. What category do you want, and who are you picking for your bad team again since the year 2000? You can pick any sport to start.
Let's go with NBA.
NBA.
Detroit Pistons.
All right. So I'm gonna go MLB. I'm going Angels because I think we've already determined they are the most disappointing team in baseball. All right. Do we want to do? We're gonna do this as a snake so that I have an advantage at somewhere.
I mean, I think a snake would be fair.
NHL. I'm gonna do Blue Jackets. I do like the Blue Jackets, but I think they're a pretty disappointing NHL team. All right.
Yeah.
What are your 2 picks, sir?
I'm gonna go NHL too. I'm gonna go San Jose.
Okay. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say Florida Panthers because outside of the last 3 years, very good pick is the Florida Panthers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they were the worst team in the NHL for a while.
I can't. Yeah, no, obviously no takebacks. So.
All right, you can do MLB or NFL.
Ooh, I'll go with the Washington Commanders because I know Drew will find this clip somewhere.
Good. You didn't take my You have 3. I have 2. That makes sense. NFL, we're going to go the Lions. Because they've been the second. I'd say they're probably the second worst team in football as far as this goes.
I did almost take the Dolphins. I'm not going to lie.
So have the Dolphins really been disappointing, or did they just get buried by
They've had a reverse bell curve in terms of like their performance.
But was it actually that bad, or was it because the Patriots were so good, right?
Yes.
And then my NBA team. Oh, who did you take? You took the Pistons, right?
Yeah.
What do I want for the NBA? You know what? This might be a little controversial. The Jazz. I feel like they were good at like the height of the late 90s, but I feel like they fell off, and they fell off hard. Sir, you with an MLB team, the quote unquote worst MLB team you can think of.
Ooh. What the Royals?
I wasn't sure who you were gonna go with on that one, because I feel like there were still a lot of choices. All right, yours is coming through first. D+, which by the way, beats my actual report card.
Or did your report card win in terms of suffering? And
you're not valid for NHL? Oh my god. Fine. Oh, because it's... The advanced mode still has 1997. I smoked you with an F. I did. So to be fair, you did have to set the Jackets to since 01 because they didn't exist prior to the 2000-2001 playoffs. That was the other reason I picked year 2000, because like otherwise it's super easy to skew to a new team and be like, well. So, Alex, I'm gonna read you your report card of your quote unquote worst report card you can think of. Again, with no repeats, because I think we probably would have agreed with basically my report card. Your championships is a D+. Your regular season success is an F-. Playoff success, D+. Suffering, a lot. Current trajectory, free fall. Overall, D+. The contributions come from the Pistons at a C+, the Sharks at a C, Royals at a C, the Commanders at an F. So they're rating the Commanders the worst possible grade. The Steelers have an A, and the Browns have an F-. So the Browns have a worst. And then you get to me, who picked the Angels, Blue Jackets, Jazz, and Lions. Championships, we got a D, because I don't think any of them have won a championship. The Angels are the only ones that have won a championship, actually. Regular season success, we got an F. Playoff success, we got an F. Suffering, extreme. Current trajectory, going down. So not only do these teams suck, they're going to suck some more. I will clip these report cards, sir. Like screenshot them, so when we're talking about them, we can flash them up on the screen. In post.
I would love that. Yeah.
In post. But
we just need we got to record a sting for this little segment we got here.
Well, I think I did already. What's the worst possible team we can build? Then, so here's how it'll build. I don't care. We'll spill the secret sauce here. Right?
Improv.
I asked the question, and not only did I ride the question, we can talk about ours and our since 96, 97 being the years we're born. And then 2000 I thought was a safe choice for a year because it's probably the year we started watching sports. Like actually watching sports.
Yeah.
At least enough that You could understand it being 3-4 years old. Oh, look at this. It actually has the best and worst team since 2000.
Oh,
So the best teams since 2000 are the Patriots, Lakers, Red Sox, and Penguins. The worst teams since 2000
I forgot about the Pirates being so bad.
are the Browns, the Hornets, the Pirates, and the Yotes. So the only team I could have picked, really, I did a pretty good job because I hit pretty much, well, the Hornets were off the table because I am actually a Hornets fan, and the Browns were off the table because I'm actually a Browns fan. So the Pirates and the Coyotes were the only two fair game ones. But look at this as you go up. Look at this. Sacramento, I actually almost picked them. Who did I wind up going with? I picked the Jazz. The Jazz must have been bad, but I guess they haven't been that bad. It's pretty bad that 2024 already has a team on the list. It's the Rockies.
Well, I think once you mathematically eliminate a team, I think you can.
Well, I'm not winning that. I'm not winning that $10,000 bet. I did not bet $10,000 on them. I bet 25 on them, and it would have won me 10,000. But yeah, so if I was a Pirates fan and a Coyotes fan, I would actually be a fan of the worst team since I was born. But yeah, Sabres another solid choice. It's wild seeing the Red Wings for a short while pop up as like the worst team because they were so dominant in the 90s and 2000s. But I'm actually shocked to see the Blue Jackets not on there. I really thought the Blue Jackets were going to make the list for the worst NHL team.
You'd think.
But it doesn't matter. I was really between the Blue Jackets and Coyotes. If I had picked Coyotes, I could have gotten an F-.
Do we try until one of us gets an F-?
I think we got to try to build the F- card. Well, I mean, the thing is, we know the answer, though. We know the answer. It's Pirates Coyotes.
Well, or do you try to build the best?
All right. We'll try to build the best. Same thing, same rules.
We're going head to head again, huh?
Yeah. Yep. And since I got first draft pick last time, I'll give you first draft pick here. Just give me 1 second to set everything up. And if you picked a team that expanded into a league, mainly hockey. I think hockey's the only one that has expansion teams. Post 2000, obviously, they will only be from the year they expanded in. So I will give you first choice, sir. Again, our teams are off the table, and I mean, you kind of know not to pick the teams that we picked previously.
Wait, didn't I pick first last time? Because you snaked the first time.
I did. Oh, you're right. I did snake. Okay, so I'll go first. No, I went. Oh yeah, you went first. Because I picked. Because I went Angels Jackets. All right. Well, so controversial pick, but it's the Patriots. Like that's since 2000, New England Patriots. Easy lock on that one. All right.
That's the 1-1 of this list.
It has to be the 1-1 of this list.
So I'll go with the Golden State Warriors.
Okay. And your second choice? Because again, we'll snake it just to keep it fair.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
That's a pretty good choice because they do have a few cups. Not just in recent times. So I will also go to the NHL. And I'm going to say it's... Ooh. Do I want Detroit or do I want the Devils? Both were super successful right off the jump. Right off the rip. You know what? I'm going to go with the Devils. And then for the NBA, I'm going to go with the Lakers, who are like an easy second choice. All right. Wrap it up with your NFL and MLB team.
All right, NFL, I'll go Kansas City. You didn't pick your baseball yet, right?
I have not. The only thing I have left is baseball.
Now I'm thinking too much.
Remember, you can't
We'll
pick
go
Red
with this.
Sox, Yankees. So
I'm gonna go with the Giants.
that's a pretty good one. I'm going to go with... Do I want to go slightly off board with someone that I think just made the playoffs a lot, but wasn't necessarily great? Because, like, Cleveland's kind of that team. But I'm actually going to go with Houston. All right, Alex. Your report card is an A+, skyrocketing. I think you got an A+ for championship, A for regular season success, A+ for playoff success, none for suffering. Current trajectory is skyrocketing, and your overall is A+, and there were 809,100 possible combinations of teams. That's the other thing, because certain teams like the Blue Jackets didn't exist yet. So the combinations go up.
Yeah.
I also got an A+, but I think you got a better... I will say you got a better... Ooh! It's close. So I have an A+ for championships, A+ for regular season success, A+ for playoff success, none for suffering. Current trajectory, I have flat, and my overall is A+. So your trajectory is skyrocketing, but I have better regular season success. So I'd call that a tie.
Yep.
By the way, the Astros are a B+, and the Devils are a B. The Warriors are a B+. Your only B score was the Warriors.
You know what?
The Lightning were an A, the Giant were an A, Chiefs were an A, Warriors were a B+. Mine, the Patriots were an A+, the Lakers were an A+, the Astros were a B+, and the Devils were a B.
Hey, you know what's going on in the Bronx right now?
They're probably getting killed, unfortunately.
You know who they're playing?
I do not. Because I have not been following baseball, but I assume it's the Bo Sox.
No, it's the LA Angels.
Oh! And the Angels are leading 6-0.
They,
I'm still going to rip on them. They're still the most disappointing team in baseball. You cannot change my mind.
they just put up a 6 spot in the second inning.
The Yankees pitching's garbage, though. Like, the Yankees are a good baseball team, but we don't have any pitching.
Now, you kind of traded for some pitching, but they don't want to get rid of nobody.
Nope. Instead, we were trading for Jazz Chisholm, because that makes sense.
It's a Brian Cashman move. I don't know why you're slandering the man so much.
I mean, to be fair, I'm going to... knowing the New York Yankees, it'll be October, and I'll be eating my words, because they'll still be playing baseball.
Look,
That's just
as long as,
the thing.
as long as you have Aaron Judge, you'll be all right for a couple of years.
I think so. I think the Yankees are good at baseball. I think this fan report card thing is great, and I wish we had thought of it last week or before, because this was awesome. This was a nice little segment, and you can now clip it into two mini segments that you'll just have to edit in the actual report cards, but I can screen clip them, all of them, so you can have some mini segments as well to post throughout the week, like breadcrumbs leading you to our podcast, where I just rant about how much I hate dressage.
Sit here and listen to the dressage slander.
Look, you appreciate it. I love that I managed to get a flat trajectory. Like, I picked an A+, but it's like, you're just gonna hang out here.
You've plateaued.
Yeah.
And then, what was mine again?
Yours is an A+ skyrocketing.
So we're winning more titles is my point here.
Potentially.
Only
We
if
could get percentiles. 99.9 percentile for championships. 87.3 for success, 99.9 for playoff success, suffering 0.5, current trajectory. It's just the overall grades from the last 3 years. And then it's you are in the 99.9 percentile or higher with that one. You actually did have a win. I will give you the win. I have in the 99.8 percentile for my A plus. You did by 0.1.
We love that around here.
But my percentile suffering is 0.0. It's flat, but it's nothing.
It doesn't exist.
Oh, you're your suffering's 0.5. Playoff success 100th percentile. Regular season 98.7. I don't understand why it's giving me lower numbers, Alex. When I have 100 percentile for championships, 98.7 for regular season success, 100 for playoff success, and suffering of 0.0. But you have 99.9, 87.3, 99.9, 0.5 suffering. But you get 0.1 better overall. I think this game is rigged, and I'm going back to where tied.
Don't hate math. I'm just better.
Here's the thing. My math says I have a higher average.
Well, your math doesn't count.
I call shenanigans, sir.
Alright. That's fine.
What's fine?
Shenanigans are fine, but you can use other, more semi-professional words.
Shenanigans, so we're gonna go down the rabbit hole of the word shenanigans, I guess, here. I think it's a fantastic word. I think it's underutilized, and I think it's one of the best descriptors of tomfoolery that exist. And you can challenge me on it all you want, but
You wanted to use more synonyms for the word shenanigans.
maybe a little bit, but I was also now causing shenanigans. See, it's a circle. Like that clip from the movie I now pronounce to you, Chuck and Larry. Which is a fantastic movie, by the way. Kevin James and Adam Sandler is just a fantastic combo for any comedy movie. If you ask me, in my humblest of humble opinions.
Call asking, but I'll accept it anyway.
I can't believe, though, that we were... It's honestly way easier to make, like, an A+. I feel like we had a much harder time trying to pick bad teams.
Yeah. That's kind of the beauty of it, though, to be honest.
I'm a little upset that your picking of bad teams was better than my actual one. I'm still slightly salty about that.
Why?
It's just funny that your bad one is better than my actual good one. But then again, we did make the rules of no repeats. Which the only team I think out of either of ours that I potentially would have taken had I not probably the Bruins over the Devils. Like, it's the only one that I could have thought of, and the Bruins actually would have been the same grade as the Devils, so
It wouldn't have changed much on your side.
yeah. The Celtics, Steelers, and Red Sox all had those A's, though.
All you need are really 3 A's, and then you can have one not so strong option.
I mean, to be fair, I had 2 A pluses and a B plus. No, it was a high B plus. I'd say it's a high B plus because the Astros, at least as of late, have been very, very, very good. But we will definitely share these. I will clip these and send you the images so you can flash them on screen with some sort of animated graphic to make it look like I know, we all know what we're doing. Because I don't know what I'm doing.
We're just kind of improv.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
That's the beauty of where we're at.
That's
The beauty of where we're at. We're just throwing darts over the board and seeing what sticks.
If it snicks well, great. If it's a good conversation, great. If it's a crappy conversation, it's a crappy conversation. I think it's funny because I literally from your show notes, it was how I killed the Angels, and then I managed to go on a half-hour rant on why I hate the Angels.
Yeah, and it's speaking of other things that I'm actually beating you at is fantasy baseball this week, as your team is basically injured.
Oh, so about that, I'm in 2 fantasy baseball leagues, right? We'll tell you the fantasy baseball story. I stopped managing my fantasy baseball team on April 3rd, and that's the way it's gonna be. Our fantasy baseball, the one I'm in with you, is obviously free, so I really don't care about it. To be fair, I named my team insert team name here, put a generic image like that you would insert a clip graphic to. I am basically a pot, but I'm worse. I am worse than the pots. But I'm okay with it. My work league, I'm doing the same thing, and I'm just getting absolutely hosed.
You're trying to be the free win to boost other teams.
A little bit. I also just completely forgot about it. Speaking of, we'll just segue to fantasy football for a second. Because it makes sense. We're talking about fantasy sports. I propose, and I hope our commissioner of our league, because as you know, we're both in the same league, accepts it. I want to do a 100-yard time trial for draft order. The 100-yard dash. I think I clean up compared to everyone else in our league. I think I am so sneaky fast. I also used to run the 100 in high school, and I have my track spikes and a really nice track by my apartment, and I just want to run on it.
And go run on it.
Yeah, but if I can run on it to get the first pick in the draft just to take Taysom Hill, actually I'll take Tyreek Hill in the first pick just because that's actually logic, and then the second pick will be Taysom Hill. My second pick will be Taysom Hill.
Yeah, and if you're taking Taysom Hill that early, I'll take Bobby Boucher as my defense.
I'm just saying, everyone sleeps on Taysom Hill. Everyone sleeps on him. But how many weeks this year did he have over 30 points?
What, 4?
4 weeks this year he had over 30 points out of your tight end slot. You can't say that's not bad. That's bad. Like, 4 out of 16 weeks, I had Taysom Hill getting me 30 points. By the way, I won all 4 of those weeks. And it's my tight end slot.
That's incredibly...
Not for a tight end.
Yeah, because no other... You don't see Travis Kelce throwing for 50 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Exactly. Taysom Hill is a cheat code. He is a quarterback that slots into your tight end slot. Actual cheat code. If you can't get one of the top 3 tight ends in the league, taking Taysom Hill is not a bad choice. And you're mad because I'm right on this one.
No, I'm sending you a clip idea.
Is it me drafting my fantasy football a random ESPN fantasy football team? Because I was gonna suggest that we pilot a fantasy football team as a podcast.
No, sure, no.
I can do that for you. Don't worry. My team name
Don't worry.
My team name is In Taysom We Trust. It has been for the last 3 years.
He's definitely drinking some nice quality H2O, and he doesn't believe in drinking Gatorade.
Here's the thing, right? You're gonna get me going on this, so I'm just gonna go for it. Taysom Hill is a guy that is not a great quarterback, and I'm not a great quarterback's kind of a skewed stat because he is good. He played at BYU. He played top tier college football and played professionally as a quarterback. Dude transitioned to a tight end and has still stuck on an NFL roster. That's better than other guys that have transitioned from quarterback to tight end. I liked Tim Tebow. I thought he was very good at football. But
At Florida.
even his stint with the Broncos wasn't bad. You can't say that his time with the Broncos was bad.
I mean, it was incredibly average.
He still got a playoff win. He still made the Patriots sweat a little bit. Arguably one of the better Patriots teams that exist. He made sweat a little bit in a playoff game. Like, I think he was underrated. All things considered, if you go back and actually look at Tebow time for what it was. And Taysom Hill has been able to transition to tight end and still stick on his roster spot. That's better than other people. There's also, that means a legitimate tight end who's played probably played tight end since like high school doesn't have a job because he lost his job to Taysom Hill, a quarterback who probably hadn't thrown a block in 4 years before he transitions to tight end. Probably hasn't caught a pass in almost as long. It opens up so many more options for the Saints offense, having a guy that's actually a quarterback play tight end. And for anyone playing fantasy football, you get a quarterback in your tight end slot. You get 2 starting quarterbacks. So you can have Patty Mahomes. You can have Baker Mayfield, Tua, Josh Allen, Kenny Pickett, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers if he decides to not die this year after 4 minutes. Russell Wilson if he wants to be good this year. You can have a good quarterback. Your text is correct, yes. You can have a good starting quarterback, and then a guy that I honestly would say is a decent backup quarterback, can play quarterback in a pinch. He can sit in your tight end slot, and if you don't have one of the top 3-4 tight ends in the league, you have a quarterback in your tight end slot. So for fantasy points, he's just as good, if not better, in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion.
I mean, I don't think we can really go any other direction than that.
I think
Yeah.
it's one of those things where Taysom Hill he's not elite, and I'm not going to say he's elite. But for fantasy football, the fact that he is a quarterback and still mostly plays as a quarterback, but slots into your tight end slot, that is elite. Because even a bad quarterback on average does better than any other position player. Like if you have a mad game at quarterback, your fantasy points are still probably higher than like just an average tight end. Tight ends get what, like, again, outside of the Travis Kelce's of the world, like 6 points a game? Maybe 13 if they catch 2 touchdown passes. Also depending on your league rules. It would be like if Taysom Hill converted to kicker. I would immediately have him as my kicker because you know what? I have a quarterback playing kicker. Give me those fantasy points.
I don't think you can ask politely for the points, but I don't think you can just go out there and take them like that.
No, you see, I'm taking them now.
Well, you gotta ask Taysom if he wants to do that. Most players statistically do not care about fantasy points or your parlays.
I only know. And if I was to DM Taysom Hill on like Instagram, I'd be like, hey man, thank you for helping me absolutely demolish my fantasy football league the last 2 years. Because that's a compliment. I picked you and you're doing good. Thank you. But I wouldn't. I'd be like, I wouldn't DM an NFL player about fantasy football. I think that's stupid. It's like people DMing players about fantasy baseball or fantasy hockey or fantasy basketball. or fantasy NASCAR, fantasy golf. I think if you get that invested that you're DMing players, you need to stop. You're addicted. You need to stop. You need to be cut off. You need to have an intervention, like How I Met Your in How I Met Your Mother, where they have the intervention, specifically Marshall and his charts.
And worst case, you just keep doing it until they block you.
Or you don't do it, and you feel
Move
better.
on with your life.
Yeah, and you realize that you're an adult with adult responsibilities like a job and potentially a family, and bills and everything, and you just
You're clowning yourself.
just saying if you are gonna DM players for fantasy football, just start a podcast and complain about it instead. It's much healthier. It's much healthier.
Yeah.
Yes, I am calling out all podcasters, including ourselves.
We gotta help ourselves 8 episodes into this, so when we get to 2,200 like Joe Rogan, we have nothing to worry about.
Look, sir, if we get there, that'd be sweet. If we don't get there, that'd be sweet. Like, I'm happy to get there or not get there. It doesn't matter to me. Because at the end of the day, we're here, we're having a good conversation, and we're killing it. We're killing it. We're having a good time. These are definitely the most, like, not forced conversations, though, which I like. I will give us props here. This is really, you're giving me a topic, and you're like, just cook. Just, here's an idea, just cook on it. And whatever my brain cooks out, that's what the content becomes.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny. I like it. I like ranting about nothing.
I feel like half of our conversations anyway.
I mean, I feel like this is just the reality. To go back to what the premise was, like, what it's like being young working in sports, I think you have those conversations with your friends, especially your friends that also work in sports, and they're all just sports-related rants or just rants about something, because at least me being on the sales side of things, just getting to just air whatever grievance I have with life. Whether it's people not knowing how to drive, which no one knows how to drive, the amount of things I've said on the highway, we'll make a tier list for it. Things I say on the highway to bad drivers. I have a whole list of things I say, and I'll let you rate them based on how you feel my response is. I'll make that tier list for one of the next couple weeks, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, I think it'd be funny. And they are all 100% legitimate things I've said on the highway. I'm not going to make any up. It's going to all be things I've said. Most of them will have come driving from here to Boston or Boston to Cincinnati at the end of the day. Because, again, I think it's funny. Yeah, I mean, as you know, my favorite saying in the world, the pedal on the right makes you go vroom fucking vroom, is something I said when we drove back to Cincinnati at Christmas.
Multiple times.
Oh yeah, but the best one was when we were in like Connecticut or New York State before we stopped at that McDonald's.
Yeah.
I was very hangry then. I was very, very hangry that day. But in a few short weeks, or a few short months rather, I'm doing that drive again because I'll be home for Thanksgiving.
Too well.
Which I won't have my computer. I'll have my laptop, which I think if I bring a webcam I can stream off
You'll figure it out.
Are we gonna do the Thanksgiving edition at a bar?
Probably should. Probably look into that now.
I think that'd be really funny.
Try to get the time off now.
The night before thing. Although I might be at my high school's football game. I have an idea.
You get the kick in your high school Thanksgiving football game.
No, I have a better idea. I have a much better idea.
How is that? How is my idea not better?
Because I'm not a high school student, and I'm pretty sure that's barred by the MIAA. But that's neither here nor there.
Fine. We're to do it.
Ooh, he was a New Jersey student. They don't really accept transfers on the last day of the season.
It's fine.
But so hear me out, Alex. We go to a football field, preferably one that has good cell phone service. We do the Thanksgiving edition outside at a football field, and we freeze our asses off because it's New England at Thanksgiving.
I'll allow it.
I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be very funny. I think I'll be able to get all the stuff I'll need to make it happen. It'll be super low quality, which will be even funnier because it'll be a remote run, and
Oh, for sure.
the quality of my stuff is not good. But it would be I'm gonna go out on a limb. It'd be the first pod where we're in the same room.
Yeah.
At least I think.
In the same space.
In the same space, because we're very much not in the same space, despite having the same background.
We were within the same state lines, but even then.
Yeah. We were within, I'd say we were within the city limits. I'd say you were technically within, maybe not. I don't know.
What's the proper definition? I've always been curious.
So I believe, and I could be completely wrong, the way I've always defined cities, especially as you get more into the Midwest, is you have your bypass loops that make a big circle around a city.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been taught that's kind of the city limits. So, like, Cincinnati would be inside 275. Indy, it's something 74. It's probably like 374 or something. Or 274. I don't know. Let me get maps up. Get my Bing reward points. Because I use Bing. Indy, I would say it's 465. I'd say anything inside 465 is the city of Indianapolis.
Yeah, but I was also 20 miles north.
But you were still in the 270. Oh no, you weren't. You were actually outside of the 275 loop. But I would say inside like that loop. So like Louisville, Kentucky, I'd say it's 264, which is super awkward. St. Louis, 255. I might try to go to St. Louis this winter. Just for, a day. Detroit, 696 would be my kind of go-to. Although it's super awkward because obviously Detroit's on the Canadian border. Pittsburgh, I'd say... Wow, Pittsburgh doesn't really have a bypass loop. New York City doesn't really either because it's New York City. They have 280 and 278. And then they have a 495 on Long Island. That was always super fun to drive on. We can't go to New England for that because that's not going to explain. Houston has one of the best ones because it's actually a circle. Although it's not an interstate circle. It's Texas 8 for Houston. But I'd say like the highway loop around the city is kind of the whatever highway encircles a city. So 1604 is San Antonio. Denver is Denver is just like straight up Interstate 70 and 470. So kind of if you went to Boston, I would say anything inside 495. If we were in the Midwest, if we grew up in the Midwest, that'd kind of be like Boston. That's why like I think obviously Boston is Boston. But like inside 93, 95 is kind of like suburbs, and then that's why like our area where we both grew up is always known as Metro West, because kind of like it's the suburbs of Boston. Everything out to 495. And I think the further away from Boston you go, the more people that like, again, going back to what we mentioned in that first episode, like I would always tell people, especially out here or my friends in college, I'd be like, oh, I'm from Boston. And I'm like, all right. I'd be like, well, where are you from? I'm from Massachusetts. What part? All right, I'm from Eastern Mass. What does that mean? You know, kind of near Boston. And then, oh, someone's from like Natick. Whereabouts? All right, well, I'm from Metro West as well. I'm from Maynard. And kind of that'd be how you'd pare it down. And I think that's kind of how all of these cities go. So that would be where I think we are going to leave it for tonight, Alex.
I agree.
I can tell that you're a little bit on the sleepy side.
Just a bit.
I can tell you're a little bit more laid back tonight than usual, and just
I was just letting you cook.
Just kind of letting me cook. All right. Well, on that note, guys, have a fantastic night, and we will be back. I think content schedule for next week, just kind of projecting out. We should have the VOD of this if anything gets cut, although it shouldn't, because we actually kept just our faces on the whole time. But if anyone tries to claim anything, we'll clip and edit that here in the next little bit, and that will be what gets VODed out probably Wednesday at noon, and then we'll probably have some reels throughout the week, or shorts, or TikToks, or all of the above throughout the week.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Have a good night, guys.